Hello and welcome to my look at the top 3 Forex brokers in the United Kingdom. In this video, we'll take a look at Saxo Bank, CMC Markets, and Swissquote. So the first one is Saxo Bank. Now, Saxo is actually a Danish bank that's regulated in the UK through the FSA, and as a result, it offers all of the same protections that any regulated brokerage firm in the UK will offer as far as account protection schemes and massive amounts of regulation. So at this point in time, regulation is off the table. All of these three companies are regulated. The United Kingdom, one of the most heavily regulated financial systems in the world, offers the same protections for anybody who is regulated to do business in that country. Now, Saxo has a strong reputation because it is not only a brokerage firm, but it is a massive bank. So it has a lot of money backing it up. So, of course, you are going to be able to take a look at the ability to protect your capital regardless of what happens, even if something really drastic happens, which, of course, will be segregated anyways. The first thing that you should take a look at is the massive amount of products. Stock CFDs, Forex. For example, 182 spot FX pairs. You're not going to find anything more than that. You can go long or short 9,000 plus instruments, stocks 19,000 plus stocks on 37 exchanges worldwide. So you can click on that and then go to the investment products. And, let's just say you want to take a look at stocks. You can see that they've got the program there. You can take a look at the stock commissions. Now, this is non-levered stocks. This is actual trading of stocks, not CFD or anything like that. And depending on which account you have, which is due to the size of your account, you will pay more or less. You can click on and see all stock prices. You got the TSX, all of the U.S. ones, of course, Athens, Ireland, the FTSE, Milan, the MIB, Copenhagen's OMX, Lisbon. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. So clearly at this point, this is a world's portal as far as where you can trade and what you can trade. Now, when we go to Forex, you can see that the spreads are pretty tight, really. And they are probably, I wouldn't go as far as to say they're the tightest in the world, but they definitely are very tight and very good. Some brokers will offer a tick or two less, as far as like a 0.6 or something, 0.3. But at the end of the day, it comes down to how many options you want to trade. And again, speaking of options, you can see FX options and bonds, futures. So the first thing that I would say about Saxo, the major bonus here is the fact that there are so many different markets you can trade. This is literally a place where you can spend your entire trading career. So that, of course, is huge. So opening an account, you have to click on all of this to find all the minor details, but how to open up an account, you have to do the know your customer type stuff. It has a nice walkthrough, like on which brokerage platform you are dealing with. You can go to how to fund my account, card funding. You can do a wire transfer. You can also do a portfolio transfer because they are, of course, a registered brokerage firm for actual securities. So if you own like maybe 100 shares in Apple or something like that, you can transfer it right over into your account. So that is most certainly a major benefit to trading them as well. Now, when you take a look at the platforms, you can see that the platform, they have the Saxo Trader and Saxo Trader Go. It's a pretty robust platform. It certainly it'll be familiar in the sense that it is almost like a web-based kind of version of like an HTML version, HTML5 version of, your average kind of like web trader type platform. You can see there's, this should somewhat look familiar to you. It's very similar to like a TD Ameritrade or maybe a TradingView platform as far as the charting is concerned. So, and they have an absolute massive amount of information on how to optimize it. It's a very flexible platform, Saxo Trader is. It's in-house, so, and they've been using it for 15-ish years. So clearly there is a lot of experience behind it, so you don't necessarily have to worry about whether or not it works, bugs, those types of thing. And then, of course, you can go through all of the various videos, etc. So when we go back to the products, so let's say we go to Forex, you can see that they list the spreads. There's a big bit here about tier 1 liquidity and the such, perhaps giving you an idea of, you are dealing with larger banks. So while you're not necessarily, no trader is actually in the real interbank market, you're closer to it here than you are going to be in most places. As we look at margin information, margin requirements for FX, click on the retail clients, unless, of course, you are an institution. So most of this, and it is going to vary depending on the actual pair, and because they do adjust it as far as, the volatility is concerned. But most of this is 20 to 1. There are some minors that are a little less. There are some exotics that you actually have to put up full margin. Not necessarily a bad thing when you're trading something like the Chinese renminbi, Hong Kong dollar. But like some of the really bigger majors, it's much more like 33 to 1. So you'll have to go through the list to figure it out. But clearly there is a nice long listing here, and with all of the massive pairs that they do offer, 180 plus, you can start to really kind of delve into the deep end there. So as far as like extras are concerned, there are some podcasts and there's some events and webinars. I don't necessarily think that this is the strongest point of Saxo. But really, Saxo's not something where you go to open up your first trading account anyways. It's a little more professional than that. So probably not a big winner there. Not the worst, but, they focus more on offering markets and lots of quick execution. So the next broker that I'll take a look at is CMC Markets. They have, your typical platforms, MetaTrader 4. They have the mobile trading apps and all of that. They've been around for ages. They have a strong reputation. And again, they're regulated in the UK. So that takes care of a lot of the issues. Just like Saxo, CMC has a strong London presence, so you can call them directly with concerns. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll take a look at the products. You can see that they offer more than just Forex. These are all CFDs, though. You're not necessarily looking at buying actual stock, but if that's not what you're looking for, then it doesn't really matter. Forex, over 330 pairs, which is even more than Saxo. It should be stated, the average Forex broker is going to offer about 30. So both of these are amazing as far as that's concerned. So like you can go to emerging and trade like the ruble, the Mexican peso, etc. Miners, you would expect all of this. When you go to emerging, it does have certain hours that it closes out, but that's nothing unusual. We can go to margins. So Forex margin, it's 33 to 1 on the majors, 20 to 1 on some of the other ones. And then when you get to some of the other ones that are really kind of out there, you're going to need more margin, obviously, 20 to 1, 20 to 1, etc. So pretty good, actually, when it comes to margin. They, like I said, they do use MetaTrader 4, but they also have their own proprietary platform. Pretty robust, really. And they've been around for ages, so they've had plenty of time to work on this. It is, I believe, actually better MetaTrader 4. There's an argument, of course, to be made. Some people prefer MT4. It really comes down to personal preference at that point. So as far as extras are concerned, they do have a pretty wide range of webinars that'll teach you how to trade. They're kind of known for this. There's been a lot of CNBC or CMC analysts like on CNBC and Bloomberg and the like for years. So they're kind of well known. That really, I think, kind of plays into that whole situation. As far as payments are concerned, the funding and withdrawals section here, you can click on funding. How do I fund my account? And so they don't, they do take credit cards, but they don't take Amex or Diners cards. You'd be looking at, like, you need to be enrolled in 3D Secure. It's verified by Visa or MasterCard. Secure Code, it's really straightforward. It's actually a good thing to do anyways. You can also transfer funds directly from your bank account. So that's pretty similar. News analysis, they have a nice little blog area as far as extras are concerned. It's nice. I don't know that this is a deal maker one way or the other. But clearly you have a lot of products that you can trade. You can trade indices, cryptos, commodities, shares. Now, these are CFDs. These are not the actual shares, so it is a little bit different. The margin rates here are like 1 to 5 if you want to trade in those markets. And then finally, let's take a look at Swissquote. Now, Swissquote is probably the newest, but they have some interesting aspects to them. So the first thing, the reputation, they are fairly well known. They are liked. They are regulated. There isn't a whole lot to worry about there, and you can see that they offer like a magazine, webinars, that type of stuff. But let's take a look at their markets. So you can pull up stock indices, commodities, currencies, etc. This gives you the ability to trade right off of the website, which is kind of nice, assuming that you are logged in, obviously. You can go to Forex. You can do exchanges. So you can exchange into a currency into your account. So it does operate, like a bank. Commodities, you have to go through all the terms and stuff like that. But ETFs will be the same things. So you can trade physical gold in Swiss francs, euros, dollars, etc. So let's go to trading again. Click up here. So one of the things, they do offer a card, and it's in 12 currencies, so that might be useful if you do a lot of cross-border purchases and this stuff like that. So e-trading, that's the one I just showed you. There's a platform called Swiss Dots. It's a platform for over-the-counter derivatives, over 70,000. So that does help as far as being able to trade pretty much anything. Now, most of that it's domiciled in Switzerland, and it is kind of like a mini liquidity pool. So you do have to be okay with that. I don't know that that's an issue, but it is something to keep in the back of your mind. So you can see that there are better deals on transactions if you use Swiss dots. Again, don't know that that's going to be a major issue, but it is something to pay attention to. It does make them a little bit unique in that sense that they are part of a smaller liquidity pool, but it is in Switzerland, so it's that pool itself is heavily regulated as well. So the spread's going to be a little higher. 1.7 minimum deposit of $1,000. Currency pairs, forex options, precious metals. Other platforms you can use: Advanced Trader, which is theirs, and then MetaTrader 4 and 5. We can go to support. And then you can go to open your account. And it will open up all of this information here. You have to fill out all of this. It's a pretty straightforward process. Not really a big deal. You can fund your account via wire, like with any brokerage. You can fund your account through cards, but you have to be verified. There are various security features that they offer, might be a little bit more robust than others. They do have a newsroom and an education area. So this is like the newsroom. It's a blog, basically. And you can click on education. So a bunch of videos talking about different markets and stuff. You know, would I hang all of my education on this? No, of course not. But it's, you know, it's pretty straightforward. It kind of gives you an idea. Again, you have 70,000 markets that you can trade in the Swiss dots exchange. So if you choose to use that, there are a lot of advantages to it. Just be aware of the fact that it is going to be a little bit different than other brokerages in that sense. Pretty straightforward. They're regulated in the UK and Switzerland. Both of those are heavily regulated areas of the world. So really, it's not something that you need to be overly concerned with. And like I said, the spreads are a little higher, because they are a market maker, really. That's going to be a difference as well. So, but it's completely transparent, well regulated. Being a market maker wouldn't bother me in this particular situation. So those are the three best UK brokers for Forex that I have been able to find regulated in the UK. Can't go wrong with any of them, really. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Bigger accounts, probably Saxo. CMC is probably better for retail traders in general. And as far as variety is concerned, Swissquote is probably somewhere in the middle, but you are going to pay a little bit more in spreads.